Story 1. I still listen to much of the same music, sleep very little, and prefer to spend most of my time alone. Story 2. To this day, I still enjoy a good pizza, Mountain Dew, and a few hours of video games. I am 35 years old. I will make sure to have one of those nights once a month. Story 3. I still like stuffed animals, but I can't have them because I have a career and a wife. It looks weird if I bring home a stuffed toy. I have my childhood stuffed toy on my office shelf. I would have more if it weren't considered strange, but this one allows me to play the sentimental card, and no one questions it. Story 4. I enjoy writing assignments and essays. I love fountain pens. I like to climb hills and hike. I have a continuing interest in meteorology. I still have some of the same fears and anxieties. I am fascinated by dates. I keep a diary in which I write entries very rarely, only when something important happens. My desires regarding how I want to live my life remain largely unchanged. I am 37 years old now. Story 5. At 25, I feel more like my 13-year-old self than ever. I still love cute things and stuffed animals, making art, and somehow, I have reignited my love for Justin Bieber. This time, I am more confident in being weird, quirky, and nerdy because I don't care what others think about it. Story 6. I have an overactive romantic imagination. At that time, I channeled it by reading endless Harry Potter fan fiction. These days, I express my feelings more openly to my girlfriend, though I've calmed down a bit. I still love video games. Luckily, I am not much like my 13-year-old self. That version of me was an idiot, even for his age. Story 7. I still enjoy the same hobbies. Now there's the internet and I can stream any movie or anime I want on demand. I can play games late without having to hide my Game Boy Advance SP under my blanket, as the built-in lighted screen was the best. I can also eat whatever I want. My 30s are just a significantly upgraded version of the life I had and enjoyed at 13. Story 8. I am a short, overweight, bespectacled individual. My taste in entertainment has not changed much. I listen to basically the same music and read the same kinds of books, enjoying many of the same authors. My taste in television has expanded somewhat, but not as much as you might expect. My skills have improved, but not meaningfully expanded. Mathematics remains easy for me, and while I am a better programmer, I have been doing that since I was 7. I am still a picky eater and do not drive. I have only been on one more first date than I had at 13. Regarding that topic, I am still embarrassed to dance in public despite years of training. I continue to spend most of my money on toys, although the toys have improved. I am now 49 years old. Story 9. I still love bass the same way I loved it when I used my dad's old earbuds, which were nothing special and came with his phone, and heard those lower frequencies for the first time. Story 10. At age 42, I play video games and role-playing games, watch anime, enjoy adult content, am introverted, and could watch the movie Jurassic Park 4 times in a row without getting bored. Story 11. Still fascinated by paleontology, particularly the Cambrian period. I have never liked dinosaurs as much. Story 12. I still watch old 1990s and early 2000s anime. It still rocks 25 years later. As an adult, I no longer have to be judged by my parents. Story 13. I still enjoy the same types of movies and TV shows. I still find myself in difficult relationship situations. I still experience the same feelings of frustration towards my mother. Unfortunately, I believe these feelings are primarily due to trauma. Story 14. I am still a spoiled little child who plays Sims. Honestly, I do not remember my 13-year-old self at all. Story 15. I find myself gravitating back to the music I listen to. I still wear a lot of band and graphic tees, and I am often online watching various videos instead of Shane Dawson, Fluffy, Des and Nate, and a very Potter musical. Story 16. I still feel lonely sometimes, even though I have friends now, and I didn't have friends at all when I was 13. Story 17. I enjoy riding my bike, reading, walking in nature, playing video games, watching movies, and eating burgers. Story 18. If you are a fan of the old-school World Wrestling Federation, I still spit my gum out and slap it in midair like Mr. Perfect. Story 19. I still enjoy a lot of the same music. I still have a strong crush on Frank Yarrow and Andy Samberg. I still love frosty purple eyeshadow. Story 20. I am still short, still socially awkward, and will never stop wearing glasses or being a nerd. The glasses are not what make me a nerd, by the way. Story 21. In my mid to late teens, I gained weight and remained that way until recently. Now that I can afford all the cool clothes I wanted to own back in the day, I dress like a youthful individual. Story 22. I am nothing like my 13-year-old self anymore. The only part of me that remains the same is how much I annoy my pets by putting funny hats on them or hugging them too much. Story 23. My handwriting has not improved at all since then. If anything, it has worsened because we do not need to write by hand as much as we used to. Story 24. Honestly, I am much wiser than I was 15 years ago. This wisdom comes from becoming an adult and gaining more life experience. There was a period between 18 and 23 when I was a completely different person, mostly due to the people I surrounded myself with and my environment at that time. I am glad I moved past that, and I believe my 13-year-old self would be very proud of my 28-year-old self. Story 25. I'm still emotional, maybe not to the extreme of wearing black eyeliner, but in terms of clothing and music, I'm the same. I still hold the same morals and I still follow a vegetarian lifestyle. Story 26. When I was 13, I learned to play guitar to perform pop-punk songs on a Squier Stratocaster. I am still going strong 25 years later. Story 27. Well, I'm 18 and turning 19 soon. I still enjoy listening to K-pop and dancing to it in my room at 3 a.m. Story 28. When I was 13, I liked girls my age. I also enjoyed grape juice. Now I appreciate adult women and red wine, but I still like grape juice. That was close. Story 29. My celebrity crush is still Emily Browning. She just gets more beautiful and every role more interesting. Ghost Ship rewired my brain. I still love art and writing and spend a lot of time reading. I feel sad and angry, but I am now working on it. I am fascinated by all religions, languages, and cultures. I don't remember much from my life or even this morning, but I do have a vivid photographic memory of a page from a science book I read 2 years ago that's relevant to your minor problem. Here's a direct quote from the third paragraph. I am now 32 years old, and I have never managed to learn how to make my perfect memory recall work when it is actually important. It feels like wasted talent, like a pet store goldfish winning the lottery. Story 30. I still love to write. I believe my current work is of much better quality. I think my 13-year-old self would be proud. Story 31. I usually go to bed late, later than anyone in my family. I enjoy that part of the day the most, that 1 hour just for myself and my thoughts. The same as it was exactly 37 years ago. Story 32. I am 20 years old. I still love all my stuffed animals. I maintain a close relationship with my grandmother. I am still a goofball behind closed doors. I am pretty shy around strangers. I feel quite insecure about various things. I bite my nails when I am anxious. I am obsessed with cats. I love light pink items. Story 33. I still crave limited palate comfort food when I'm really stressed out. On a normal day, I can enjoy all sorts of interesting food. I can explore new flavors and textures. And even if I don't always like it much, I think, oh well, I tried. Ponzu pork bowls with pickled carrots, cucumber, and lime crema? Yes, please. Spicy Szechuan foods? I love them. Chicken with spicy fig and red pepper sauce served over cilantro lime rice? Count me in. Had a bad day? Stressed about something? In those moments, all food adventures vanish. I want only the most comforting and familiar foods. No, I don't want to try even a bite of your food. No, you can't have any of mine. I prefer to curl up with a TV show and enjoy things that are bad for me but good for my feelings. Thankfully, this doesn't happen often, maybe a few times a year at most. But my 36-year-old partner finds it annoying. I come home from work after a bad day, and he wants to make a big red wine beef stew, mushroom risotto, or eggplant parmesan. I just want macaroni and cheese and chicken nuggets, and I wouldn't enjoy what he made even if I wanted to, so I decline those options. Story 34. I often receive more emotional support from strangers online than from my parents or real-life friends. I love my little sister. There are times when I cannot bear to interact with the real world and escape into fictional worlds, sometimes of my own creation. I wish I could draw, but I lack the patience and motivation to learn. I want to read more, but I also struggle with patience and motivation for that. I dream of writing my own book someday. Story 35. I still love trading card games. I enjoy playing Pokemon games, and I am good at math. I also have a high libido. Story 36. Wanting intimacy and not achieving it is frustrating. I seek love and meaningful relationships, but I feel like I haven't matured past the desire for casual encounters. I will turn 24 this year. I've experienced lovely relationships and intimacy. It's not a major topic in my adult life, but when a while passes without it, the urge becomes overwhelming. I find it difficult to manage these feelings. If I were to pursue casual encounters, I could likely engage in them, but I do not want to create emotional connections purely for physical satisfaction. However, the desire for intimacy is strong. Story 37. I'm still into weed. I love swords and shields. I still enjoy parks. I love skating in all forms. Story 38. I still look up to my brother. I struggle with relationships and maintaining contact with people in general socializing. I find joy in stuffed animals. I feel like I have something to prove to myself or the world, though I'm not sure why. I love to draw and I enjoy football. I prefer my own time and company. I still need to stim while listening to music. I have the same sense of gender identity as a transgender man. I'm 22 now. Story 39. Whenever my little brother and I are together, it's always a wonderful experience, and I love it. My sister-in-law, not so much. Story 40. Still a loner, moving from one friend group to another. Still doing well with the ladies. Still skilled with computers. Story 41. I'm 24 now, and honestly, I enjoy the same TV shows as I did back then. I'm annually rewatching H2O. Just Add Water, Wolf Blood, Winx Club until Season 4, Avatar, The Last Airbender, and more. It's not like I'm exclusively watching these shows, but I still enjoy them. I still sleep with my stuffed animals that I had since I was a kid. I really enjoy spending time with my parents as much as I did when I was 13 and younger. One of the best days for me is still at the amusement park or theme park. I just love it. It gets me as excited as when I was a kid. I love binge-watching TV shows or movies all day long or playing Nintendo DS all day. I don't have enough money to buy a Nintendo Switch. I still have the same great imagination that I had when I was 13 and younger. I really love dressing up for events like themed parties, conventions, and Halloween. If I had the money, I would definitely be into cosplay. I still struggle with math, dislike it with a passion, and try to avoid it as much as I can. Story 42. When I was 13, I spent a lot of time playing PlayStation. I guess a lot has changed. I have an Xbox Series X now. Story 43. I still find makeup unappealing, especially on myself. I can't handle even the thought of it. However, I appreciate the artistry and beauty of makeup on others. Story 44. We have the same phone, most of the same friends, are in the same fandoms, and share a similar relationship. I still wear the clothes and jewelry they made regularly, and I go to the same school. Yes, I'm 14. This thread isn't for me. Story 45. I am fundamentally the same in terms of my values and general disposition, just more polished and significantly tougher, less prone to awkward or rookie mistakes. I am also much more knowledgeable overall. My preferences are largely unchanged, with the exception that I now enjoy drinking with friends. My hobbies of music, video games, anime, and history or fantasy books have not changed in 22 years. I enjoy them as much now as I did then. Story 46. 10 years later, I still have no interest in getting married or having children. Let's see where the next 10 years take me. Story 47. Still compliant, kind, and believing in the goodness of others. She still hopes to be recognized for her hard work and not overlooked. She does not tolerate bullying and enjoys spending time alone in the forest, but is often too busy or far away to do so. Story 48. I still play guitar and look at gear I will never afford. It is even worse with a much better understanding of both guitar equipment and internet navigation now at 27. Story 49. I still giggle like a schoolgirl at the mention of Lake Titicaca. I spend an hour or two every Sunday in pajamas, watching cartoons and eating Captain Crunch straight out of the box. I also go to the gym 9 times a week because if I don't, a doctor might someday have to amputate my leg. Growing old is mandatory. Growing up is optional. Story 50. While clearing out my parents' house, I found an About Me essay I must have written when starting high school at age 12. I stated my main interests were video games and current affairs. Fast forward 40 years, and my main interests are the same. I must have been a boring 12-year-old. Story 51. I still put all my crayons, colored pencils, pens, paints, beads, clay, and clothes in my closet in rainbow color order. It's okay if it gets messed up while using, but I have to put it back before starting again. Story 52. In every way, but at the same time totally different. I wish I could give my 13-year-old self a massive hug and tell her everything will be okay. I might also mention that as a 52-year-old woman, period cramps get worse. Story 53. My sweet tooth hasn't changed, unfortunately. I still enjoy walking around and exploring, reading, riding in a car while listening to music, and discovering new things. Story 54. When my team loses, I feel like I'm 13 all over again. However, anything that makes you feel like you're 13 isn't the worst thing in the world. Story 55. I still love the Beatles. I was 13 in 1968. Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young debuted, and my love for that group has never waned. Story 56. I am part of Generation X. For me, watching my comic books come to life on the big screen as an adult in the Marvel and DC universes has kept me, in some ways, a man-child. Story 57. I'm still very creative and definitely don't fit in with the cool kids. I'm still a unique punk rock enthusiast and I'm 45. Story 58. I am 40 and still a big kid at heart. I love old school cartoons and video games, and I prefer to hang out with younger people. They know how to relax and talk about things other than problems and bills. Most importantly, despite all the trauma and chronic pain, I remain kind and I am trying to change intergenerational trauma. Stay positive, everyone. Love you all. Story 59. Going through puberty and transitioning, I have never lost my music tastes. I have only gained new ones along the way. Story 60. I still follow my principles. They may have shifted slightly over time as I have learned, grown, and experienced life, but I find that I almost always adhere to a moral code of what I believe is right. Story 61. At 13, I realized I liked women with prominent figures. This preference has continued into my 40s. Story 62. I still have some of the same albums on my iPod. I also engage in general collecting and gather little trinkets that make me happy. I still have plenty of items. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.